progress falls behind rising aspiration, particularly of the young, rage will manifest itself. We are a nation that is becoming younger both in age and spirit. This is an opportunity as well as a challenge. The young thirst for knowledge that will lift their skills and for opportunity that will put India on the fast track to the first world. They have the character, they need the chance. Education is the seed and economy is the fruit. Provide good education, disease, hunger and poverty will recede. As I said in my acceptance speech, our motto must be all for knowledge and knowledge for all. Visions cannot be an open-ended vista. It must be focused on our youth. My fellow citizens, notwithstanding the tremendous pressure of an adverse external environment, our economy today is more resilient and confident. 2 decades of steady economic reforms have contributed to improvement in average income and consumption levels in both rural and urban areas. There is newfound dynamism in some of the most backward areas, bringing them into the national economic mainstream. Yet, there are several gaps that need to be bridged. Clean revolution has to be extended to the eastern region of our country. Creation of high quality infrastructure has to be fast tracked. Education and health services have to reach the last man at the earliest. Much has been done. A lot more remains to be done. The monsoon has played truant this year. Large areas of our country are in the grip of drought. Some others are devastated by floods. Inflation, particularly food inflation, remains a cause of worry. While our food availability remains healthy, we cannot forget the plight of those who made this possible even in a lean year. Our farmers, they have stood by the nation in its need. The nation must stand by them in their distress. I do not believe that there is any inherent contradiction in protecting our environment and economic development. As long as we heed Gandhiji's great lesson, there is sufficient in the world for men's need, but not for man's greed. We are safe. We must learn to live in harmony with nature. Nature cannot be consistent. We must be able to conserve her bounty during the many seasons of plenty, so that we are not bereft during the occasional bout of scarcity. Anger against the bitter pandemic of corruption is legitimate, as is the protest against this plague that is eroding the capability and potential of our nation. There are times when people lose their patience, but it cannot become an excuse for an assault on our democratic institutions. Institutions are the visible pillars of our Constitution, and if they crack when the idealism of our Constitution cannot hold, they are the interface between principles and the people. Our institutions may have suffered from the weariness of time. The answer is not to destroy what has been built, but to re-engineer them so that they become stronger than before. Institutions are the guardians of our liberty. The vigilance on our frontiers has to be matched with vigilance within. We must restore the credibility of those areas of our polity, judiciary, executive and legislature where complacency, exhaustion or maleficence may have clogged delivery. The people have a right to express their discontent, but we must also understand that legislation cannot be wrenched away from the legislature or justice from the judiciary. When authority becomes authoritarian, democracy suffers. But when protest becomes endemic, we are flirting with chaos. Democracy is a shared process. We all win or lose together. Democratic temper calls for dignity of behavior and tolerance of contrary views. Parliament will live by its own calendar and a rhythm. Sometimes that rhythm sounds a bit atonal, but in a democracy there is always judgment day and election. Parliament is the soul of the people, the Atma of India. We challenge its rights and duties at our peril. I say this not in a spirit of admonition, but as a plea for greater understanding of the existential issues that lurk behind the mask of the mundane. Democracy is blessed with a unique opportunity of redress of grievances through the great institution of accountability, free elections. Old fires that threaten the stability of our nation have not been fully doused. The ash continues to smolder. It is particularly painful for me to witness the violence in Assam. Our minorities need solace, understanding and protection from aggression. Violence is not an option. Violence is an invitation to greater violence. Concrete attempts have been made to heal the wounds of Assam, including the Assam Accord conceived by our young and beloved former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. We should revisit them and adapt them to present conditions in the spirit of justice and national interest. We need peace for a new economic surge that eliminates the competitive causes of violence. It is a fact of our geopolitical environment that some problems transcend borders. SAARC was created 27 years ago to find solutions through dialogues and by mutual cooperation create the rapid economic growth that is the only long-term answer to problems like migration and uneven development. SAARC must acquire vigor to fulfill its mandate. The SAARC should be a major instrument in the common war against terrorists. Great success is possible by international cooperation. All SAARC nations must cooperate to bring to justice those who believe in mayhem against innocence. There is no other way towards peace on the subcontinent. I am proud of our brave armed forces and our valiant police forces who have done so much at such great personal risk to curb this menace of terrorism. It is their vigilance which has prevented more havoc. If we sleep in peace, it is because they are awake and vigilant in the desolation of desert and mountain and forest and in the vast loneliness of the seas. I salute their commitment and their patriotism. It is heartening that the armed forces not only guarantee our peace but also produce medal winners at Olympics. I congratulate all who have done their nation proud at the recently concluded games by winning us as well as by participating. The number of trophies may not be too large, but it is a remarkable improvement upon the last count. 4 years later, when I hope to address you again, I am sure we will celebrate a medals spring. My fellow citizens, if there is one man in history whose name is synonymous with peace, then it is Gandhiji, the architect of our independence. India is a land of plenty, inhabited by poverty. India has an enthralling, uplifting civilization that sparkles not only in our magnificent art but also in the enormous creativity and humanity of our daily life in city and village. When Indira Gandhi reached for the stars, she believed that this would be within the grasp of India in just another generation. But there is neither a present nor a future except in a climate and culture of national unity and brotherhood. My fellow citizens, let us leave behind the way of hatred, violence and anger. Let us put aside our petty quarrels and factions. Let us work together for our nation with the devotion of a child towards a mother. Let us repose our faith in the invocation from Upanishads. May God protect us. May God nourish us. May we work together with vigor and energy. May our studies be brilliant. May there be no hostility amongst us. May there be peace, peace, peace. Peace must be our ideology, progress our horizon. Jai Hind!